What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we got some very, very interesting news. As undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terence Bud Crawford, superstar boxer, could be facing off against Jose Zepeda October 23rd, according to Top Rank Execs. Top Rank is the network and the promotional company in which Terence Crawford is currently signed to, with legendary promoter, Top Rank CEO and promoter Bob Arum. According to Top Rank, Terence Crawford could be facing off against Jose Zepeda in his next fight. Actually, they're saying that is the most likely. He is the lead candidate to be Terence Crawford's next opponent. Terence Crawford has been out the ring for quite some time. Last time we saw Terence Crawford fight was November 14th of 2020 when he took on the defeated former IBF welterweight world champion British superstar boxer Special K. Kell Brook in dramatic fashion. He got a knockout victory. With that said, Jose Zepeda is 34 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 26 wins by way of knockout. He himself was knocked out. He's 32 years of age, standing at 5'8" with a 70.5-inch arm reach. We last saw him in the ring May of this year when he took on and defeated hammering Hank Lundy via unanimous decision. He was in an action-packed fight against Baranchik. That was the fight of the year back in October of 2020. He lost to Jose Ramirez, former unified junior welterweight world champion. He's a junior welterweight, Jose Zepeda, okay? So this seems to be the next option for Terence Crawford, according to Top Rank Execs, okay? This is what they expect. They expect Terence Crawford to face off against Jose Zepeda, okay? Terence Crawford is undefeated. 37 wins, no losses, no draws, 28 wins by way of knockout. He's 33 years of age. He stands at 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Okay, last time we saw him in the ring, as I stated, was against Kell Brook back in November of 2014. Prior to that, last time we saw Terence Crawford in the ring was when he took on his WBO mandatory challenger, December 2019. That was Igor Kavalauskas, the Mean Machine. And prior to that, it was Americana in April. So he's having these long, extensive layoffs out the ring, okay? That does not benefit an older fighter who is going to be 34 years of age September 28th. So by the time he steps in the ring, if this holds true, October 23rd, he'll be 34 years of age, okay? And Terence Crawford has been seeking that big, lucrative, huge profile fight, okay? The legacy fight that's been eluding him. He's been looking to seek out, and secure a fight with 8-division legendary iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, but that never came to fruition. And now Manny Pacquiao, he's on the verge of fighting his rival, undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who's widely considered to be top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and Earl the Truth Spence Jr. So with that said, he's for the better part of 5-6 years, Terence Crawford have been trying to secure a fight with Manny Pacquiao, and it did not come to fruition, largely in part due to his promoter, Bob Arum, who says that he just don't see the return on investment, the profit in making a fight with Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. He even went as far as to say that it was a possibility June 5th of this year that he could have fought Manny Pacquiao, but they didn't see the benefits for the promotional company to make that fight. They felt like they would lose money with the purses they would have to pay out to both fighters. So with that said, Bob Arum says that we could have made the fight with Manny Pacquiao, but we chose not to. And good for Manny Pacquiao, they made the fight with Errol Spence. That's not good for Terence Crawford. Now, Terence Crawford is scheduled to be a free agent after October. Some say that it's October 18th is the last, date that he's officially signed to Top Rank. And, this fight with Jose Zepeda is going to be, his last fight with Top Rank and Bob Arum and company. Now, what's interesting is Bob Arum, he just recently did an interview as he has a few fights going on. And Bob Arum, he stated in the interview, we have 3-division, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former lightweight unified world champion, Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko will be back in action tonight as well. And Bob Arum, he was doing a few interviews in which Bob Arum, he stated that when asked about Terence Crawford's future, he made it seem as if Terence Crawford will be re-signing with Top Rank and Bob Arum, okay? He stated that Terence Crawford has interest in fighting the current junior welterweight undisputed world champion, British superstar boxer Josh Taylor in his next fight. But it's going to be in 2020, obviously, if Terence Crawford is not going to get back in the ring until October. And then Bob Arum stated that maybe the fight with Zepeda gets pushed back and it won't happen in November. That means Terence Crawford would have been out a year. He was out 11 months before he fought Kell Brook in November, and now he will be out another year by the time he fights again. That means he would have fought twice in 2 years, and he's considered the best fighter in the world, and he's on the wrong side of 30, okay? He'll be 34 years old. Father Time, we never know when it'll tap you on the shoulder, okay? So two fights in 2 years, essentially, for Terence Crawford, and they're not high-profile fights, okay? Terence Crawford's fan base is starting to get restless with this entire process, okay? So with that said, Bob Arum, he alluded to the possibility that Terence Crawford could be re-signing. Now, we saw Terence Crawford trainer and manager at Bomac. He was annoyed with the questions about Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. He just said that Terence Crawford will be back with a chip on his shoulder. He stated that he doesn't, that Team Crawford and Terence Crawford don't care about the Manny Pacquiao-Errol Spence fight, but they should care, okay? Because those are two fights that are legacy fights and big, huge, lucrative fights with Terence Crawford that has eluded Terence Crawford. Now, the winner of that fight is still made for a major fight for Terence Crawford, but the loser of this fight is not the same. So he lost two major paydays, okay? He had the opportunity to secure both fights. Now he will only secure one, okay? That's two major paydays with Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. The loser, especially if it's Manny Pacquiao, well, he'll never grace the square circle with Manny Pacquiao, possibly ever again, as Manny Pacquiao and his team are already talking about retirement, okay? And in loss, I don't see them coming back and fighting Terence Crawford, okay? So he stands to lose. Well, he don't stand. He's going to lose big money. Unless Errol Spence loses this fight, redeems himself in the future, we can still get Errol Spence, Terence Crawford fight, but it'll never be what it once was, okay? Not at all whatsoever, okay? It was seen as the biggest fight currently today. The biggest fight in boxing is Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford could have possibly secured a fight with Manny Pacquiao. That would have been a huge legacy, big, lucrative payday for Terence Crawford. Then he could have went in the fight with Errol Spence. But Bob Arum, his promoter, stated that they didn't feel the need to make this fight happen for his legacy, okay? So Terence Crawford has lost out. And now this may be a clear indication that Terence Crawford is exiting stage left, okay? I got word from sources that told me that Terence Crawford is leaving Top Rank, okay? Very close to the situation. They told me that Terence Crawford has all plans to exit stage left. Now, Bob Arum, he stated that Terence Crawford has interest in fighting Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is signed to Top Rank, and he stated that Josh Taylor, Terence Crawford fight, would be a huge fight. It would. The storyline would be big because the last two undisputed junior welterweight world champions, and both would be undefeated. That's a huge storyline. Josh Taylor's a big guy, at 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach, so you can't say that he's not, big enough for Terence Crawford because he's actually bigger than Terence Crawford, okay? Now, he doesn't have many fights, but, that's not uncommon for guys that come from overseas. 18 wins, no losses, no draws. 13 wins by way of knockout. 30 years of age. 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. So he's bigger than Terence Crawford, okay? Terence Crawford 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. So with that said, but in order for Terence Crawford to fight Josh Taylor, who signed the Top Rank, he would have to re-sign with Top Rank himself, okay? And then Bob Arum, he stated that Terence Crawford is currently looking and seeking out the best possible opponent for his next fight in October. October 23rd is the date that they're looking at, okay? And it's being reported by Top Rank Execs that it could be, and as the leading candidate is Jose Zepeda. So to me, I'm looking at it as a glass half full. You can look at it either way. I'm looking at it as Terence Crawford is giving Top Rank one last fight. It's not a high-profile fight, and it's just a fight for him, springboard him out, out the door to start, inquiring and, looking to where he wants to go next. I personally believe that Terence Crawford should do a fight-by-fight basis, one-fight deals, like Mikey Garcia, 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer. Mikey Garcia, he got out of his deal with Top Rank, and he started doing fight-by-fight deals. Now, he was doing exclusive with PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman. But look, Mikey Garcia, he fought Jesse Vargas on the zone because he's a free agent. He could shop his services. Jesse Vargas on the zone for $7 million. Neither guy was a champion, okay? Both guys, Mikey Garcia was coming off of a loss, and he still got $7 million to fight Jesse Vargas in a one-fight deal. Now he's looking to come back to the PBC. I believe this should be the route for Terence Bud Crawford at this point in time because in the boxing world, now, you know, outside to casual boxing fans, they may not all know who Terence Crawford is. But inside the boxing world, hardcore boxing fans and inside the boxing circle, everybody knows who Terence Crawford is, what his abilities are, and, you know, his talent speaks for itself. So everybody be willing to make a fight and have Terence Crawford, you know, showcase his talent on their platform. So that's what I believe should take place, my personal opinion. But with that said, you know, Terence Crawford, I believe, is going to knock out Zepeda. That was the route. There was 3 options on the table. It was Jose Ramirez, who's coming off a loss to Josh Taylor in the undisputed match, who was dropped twice and needs to redeem himself. Then it seemed to be the option of Regis Prograis, former IBF junior welterweight world champion, superstar boxer. But Regis Prograis, he stated that he has no interest in going up to welterweight currently right now. So Bob Arum said, well, then he done took himself off the table. And then it was Jose Zepeda. So it boils down to Jose Zepeda. And if I'm Terence Crawford out of the 3, I would have chose Jose Zepeda anyway, so I could start making my way out of top rank because they clearly have no interest in showcasing Terence Crawford's talent at the highest level. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like the shitty videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.